The emergency alarm screamed through the Galactic Council station. Ambassador Misun lifted her head from the datapad she had been reading. Around the circular chamber, representatives from 12 different species stirred in their seats. Some looked concerned. Others looked annoyed at the interruption. Council Speaker Velen stepped to the center platform. His tall, thin body moved with the grace typical of his people. The Velterans were known for their calm demeanor and logical thinking. He raised one long arm for silence. "We have received a distress signal," Velen announced. His voice carried easily through the chamber's excellent acoustics. "The trade world of Lysara Prime is under attack." Misun sat up straighter. Lysara Prime was a peaceful planet. Thousands of families lived there. It served as a trading hub for 6 different systems. The main screen flickered to life. Static filled the audio for a moment, then cleared. A terrified voice spoke in the common galactic language. "This is Lysara Prime Control. We are under attack by Krelith marauders. They have taken the capital city. Over 50,000 civilians are being held hostage. We need immediate assistance. Please, anyone who can hear this. We need help." The message cut off abruptly. Silence filled the council chamber. Misun looked around at the other representatives. She had been Earth's ambassador for 2 years now. In that time, she had learned much about galactic politics. The council moved slowly. They debated everything. They preferred discussion over action. "We must respond," said the representative from Quar. His blue skin darkened with emotion. "These are innocent people." "Of course we must respond," Velen agreed. "But we must be careful. Military action requires proper authorization. We must follow protocol." Misun resisted the urge to stand and shout. "Protocol. Always protocol." While they talked, people died. The council debated for 3 hours that first day. They discussed which ships to send. They argued about jurisdiction. They worried about setting precedents. Finally, they agreed to continue discussions the next day. Misun returned to her quarters and immediately sent a coded message to Captain Hyobin. His ship, the Indomitable, was only 2 days away from Lysara Prime. She marked the message urgent. The next day brought more debates. The Krelith marauders sent a message of their own. They wanted supplies, ships, and safe passage. In exchange, they promised to release the hostages. The council discussed whether to negotiate. "We should not reward criminal behavior," one representative argued, "but we must think of the hostages," another countered. Misun watched the death toll rise on her private display. The marauders were not patient. Already, 847 civilians had been killed. The pirates broadcast these executions to prove they were serious. On the 3rd day, Captain Hyobin's response arrived. It was brief and professional. Indomitable standing by. Request permission to intervene. "We can reach Lysara Prime in 12 hours. Misun brought the message to the council floor. Velen read it carefully, his expression troubled. "The humans wish to help," he said slowly. "This is commendable, however, we have concerns." "What concerns?" Misun asked. She kept her voice level and professional. Velen's large eyes focused on her. "Humanity comes from Earth. Your world is classified as a death world. Your people are aggressive. We fear a military response from humans might escalate the situation." Misun felt anger burn in her chest. She forced it down. "Captain Hyobin is a trained officer. His crew follows galactic military standards. Nevertheless," Velen continued, "we must decline. The council will handle this situation through proper channels." "Proper channels," Misun repeated. "How many more will die while you talk?" The chamber fell silent. Several representatives shifted uncomfortably. Speaking so directly was considered rude in council proceedings. "Ambassador," Velen said stiffly, "we understand your frustration. But civilization requires order. We cannot simply attack every threat with violence. That is not how the council operates." Misun stood. Every eye in the chamber turned to her. She had never stood during a session before. It was a significant breach of protocol. "Then humanity will answer this call alone," she said clearly. Velen's skin paled. "Ambassador, you cannot authorize military action without council approval." "I am not asking for permission," Misun replied. "I am informing you of our decision. Captain Hyobin has the authority to respond to distress signals. He will respond to this one." She turned and walked out of the chamber. Behind her, the council erupted in shocked conversation. Let them talk. She had work to do. In her quarters, Misun sent new orders to Hyobin. She also contacted Fleet Command on Earth. They needed to know what was happening. Admiral Tejo's face appeared on her screen an hour later. He was an older man with silver hair and sharp eyes. He had commanded fleets for 20 years. "Ambassador," he said, "I have reviewed the situation. Captain Hyobin reports he can reach Lysara Prime in 11 hours. However, one ship may not be enough." "What do you recommend?" Misun asked. "The Third Fleet is currently on exercises in that sector. 9 additional ships. I can redirect them to support Hyobin." Tejo paused. "The Council will not be happy." "The Council has had 3 days," Misun said. "How many more days do those hostages have?" Tejo nodded. "I will give the order. The fleet will arrive in 12 hours. The news reached the Galactic Council within minutes. Veln contacted Misun immediately. His image on her screen showed clear distress. "Ambassador, this is highly irregular. You cannot send an entire fleet without authorization." "Watch me," Misun replied. "The Krelith Marauders have 40 ships," Veln said. "They outnumber your fleet. This will be a disaster." "Perhaps," Misun acknowledged. "But at least we are doing something." She cut the connection. There was nothing more to say. The Council convened an emergency session. They voted to formally condemn humanity's actions. They declared the fleet deployment unauthorized. They demanded the ships turn back. Misun ignored all of it. She sat in her quarters watching the fleet's progress on her display. 12 human warships moving at maximum speed toward Lysara Prime. She thought of the families trapped on that planet, children hiding in fear, parents trying to protect them. The Council could keep their protocols. Humanity had different priorities. A message came through from Captain Hyobin. "Approaching Lysara Prime. Tactical analysis shows 43 enemy vessels. They have taken orbital positions around the planet. Ground forces control the capital city and 3 major population centers." Misun replied immediately. "Rules of engagement?" There was a pause. Then Hyobin responded. "Admiral Tejo has transmitted priority orders. All hostile forces are designated enemy combatants. We are authorized to use all necessary force to secure hostage safety." Misun understood what that meant. The gloves were off. "Good hunting, Captain," she sent back. She opened a channel to the Council chamber. They needed to see what happened next. All of them. They needed to understand what humanity could do when pushed. The main display showed the space around Lysara Prime. 12 human ships dropped out of faster-than-light travel in perfect formation. The Krelith Marauders immediately detected them. A message came from the pirate commander. His voice was mocking. "Little humans think they can challenge us. Turn back now. For every minute you delay, we kill 10 hostages." On the display, Misun watched the human fleet spread out. They were taking attack positions. Admiral Tejo's voice came over the open channel. It was cold. "Empty of emotion. You have 1 hour to surrender all hostages unharmed and prepare to face trial. This is your only warning." The pirates' laughter echoed through the transmission. "1 hour? We will show you what we think of your warning." The screen changed. It showed a public square on Lysara Prime. 10 civilians stood in a line. They were families. Children clung to their parents. Misun's hands clenched into fists. The pirates executed all 10. Live. On broadcast. To prove their point, the transmission cut back to Admiral Tejo's face. His expression had not changed, but his eyes had gone very, very cold. "That was a mistake," he said quietly. The human fleet's weapons came online. Every ship glowed with ready status. Aboard the flagship Indomitable, Captain Hyobin stood on the bridge. Around him, his crew worked at their stations. The atmosphere was focused, calm. They had trained for this. Lieutenant Yuna called out from the tactical station. "Enemy vessels spreading out. They are taking defensive positions around the planet." "Expected," Hyobin replied. He studied the holographic display showing the battle space. 43 enemy ships against 12 human vessels. The numbers looked bad, but numbers did not tell the whole story. Admiral Tejo's image appeared on the command screen. He was aboard the battleship Soul's Pride, positioned at the fleet's center. "All ships, this is Admiral Tejo. Listen carefully. Those pirates think they can threaten us. They think numbers matter. They are about to learn why Earth is called a death world." Hyobin smiled slightly. He had heard the Admiral give speeches before. This one was different, colder. "We are not peacekeepers today," Tejo continued. "We are not here to negotiate. We are here to eliminate a threat. Those pirates executed innocent people. They made their choice. Now we make ours." The Admiral's face hardened. "All ships weapons free. Show them what happens when they threaten the innocent." Hyobin turned to his crew. "You heard the Admiral. Tactical designate priority targets. Weapons prepare full spread. Communications patch me through to the Marines." Deep in the ship's belly, Sergeant Sangwook assembled his team. 200 Marines stood in perfect formation. Each wore combat armor. Each carried weapons designed for close-quarters battle. They had been briefed on the situation. They knew what was coming. "Listen up," Sangwook said. His voice carried clearly through the bay. "We are going down to that planet. There are civilians trapped in multiple locations. Our job is to get them out. The pirates will try to stop us. We will go through them." One young Marine raised his hand. "Sergeant, what if they try to use hostages as shields?" "Then we shoot better than they do," Sangwook replied. "We trained for this. We are faster. We are more accurate. We do not miss." Questions? No one spoke. "Good. Board the drop pods. We launch in 15 minutes. Throughout the fleet, similar scenes played out. Marines prepared for battle. Pilots checked their fighters. Medical teams set up trauma centers. Dr. Jia worked in the Indomitable's medical bay organizing supplies. She had treated combat wounds before. She knew what was coming. "Set up 20 additional beds," she told her staff. "Prepare for mass casualties, both human and alien. We will treat everyone." A nurse looked worried. "Doctor, what if we get overwhelmed?" Jia met her eyes. "Then we work faster. People are counting on us." On the bridge, Lieutenant Yuna updated the tactical display. "Admiral, the enemy is launching fighters. Count is over 300 small craft." "Our fighter count?" Teho asked. 80, sir." In the Galactic Council chamber, representatives watched the display in horror. The humans were outnumbered nearly 4-1 in fighters alone. Ships were almost 4-1 as well. "They will be destroyed," Veln said quietly. "This is madness." Ambassador Mi-sun stood at the back of the chamber. She said nothing, just watched. The battle began not with warnings but with violence. Human railguns fired first, solid metal slugs traveling at incredible speed. They did not need fancy energy weapons. Simple physics worked just fine. Mass times velocity equals impact. 3 pirate ships exploded in the first volley. Their shields had not even activated yet. The pirates had not expected such immediate aggression. "Return fire!" The pirate commander screamed over the open channel. "Kill them all!" But the human ships were already moving. They did not sit still like the Council's vessels. They moved fast, dodging, weaving. Every ship acted independently but moved as one fleet. Lieutenant Yuna's fingers flew across her console. Target lock, target lock, target lock, firing. Missiles streaked from the Indomitable's launch tubes. Smart missiles. They could track moving targets. Adjust their course. 5 missiles, 5 pirate ships, 5 explosions, reload and fire again, Hyobin ordered. The space battle was nothing like what the Council expected. Human ships moved aggressively. They did not try to disable enemy vessels. They destroyed them completely. No mercy. The pirate fighters swarmed toward the human fleet. 300 small craft against 80. They expected to overwhelm by numbers. But human pilots were different. They trained in simulators that mimicked real combat. They practiced against intelligent enemies. They learned to survive. One human fighter faced 5 pirate craft. The pirates tried to surround it. The human pilot did not run. She accelerated directly at them. At the last second, she spun her craft and fired. 2 pirates exploded. She dove past the others, rolling as she went. Her rear guns took out a third. The remaining pirates tried to follow. They could not match her movements. Human reflexes were faster. Human pilots could handle more G-forces. Evolution on a death world had made them stronger. The pilot's name was Su Jin. She had grown up on Earth. She learned to fly in Earth's thick atmosphere and heavy gravity. Space felt easy by comparison. "This is Thunder 2, she called over the comm. 3 confirmed kills. Engaging additional targets. Across the battle space, similar scenes played out. Human pilots were simply better. They moved faster, reacted quicker, handled their craft with precision that amazed the watching council. Admiral Teho watched the tactical display with satisfaction. "All ships begin advance. Target the orbital platforms. We need to clear a path for the Marines." The human fleet moved forward as one unit. They maintained formation while each ship fired independently. Coordination through chaos. It was a human specialty. The pirates were panicking now. Their commander sent desperate orders. Concentrate fire on their flagship. Bring it down! 20 pirate ships focused on the Soul's Pride. Energy weapons and projectiles converged on the battleship. The shields flared bright blue as they absorbed the impacts. Shield strength at 60%, the tactical officer reported. Taeho did not look concerned. Return fire. Full broadside. The Soul's Pride had been designed for exactly this situation. Heavy shields. Heavy armor. Heavy guns. It was built to take punishment and give back worse. The broadside was devastating. Dozens of weapons fired at once, railguns, missiles, point defense lasers. The concentrated firepower tore through 4 pirate vessels in seconds. Shield strength at 45%, tactical updated. Continue firing, Taeho ordered. Hyobin watched from the Indomitable. His ship was smaller, faster. He maneuvered it around the enemy fleet's flank. Classic Earth naval tactics. While the enemy focused on the big target, the smaller ships struck from the sides. Yuna, target those orbital weapons platforms, he said. Locked. Captain, fire! The platforms exploded one by one. They were designed to defend against ships approaching slowly. Not against aggressive human tactics. In just 17 minutes, the space battle turned decisively. 21 pirate ships were destroyed or disabled. The rest were trying to retreat. Don't let them escape, Taeho ordered. No one leaves this system, the human fighters pursued. They were relentless. Pirates who tried to flee died in space. Those who tried to fight died faster. The pirate commander, Rakesh, watched his fleet die from his flagship. He could not believe what was happening. How were these humans so effective? They were only 12 ships. All vessels fall back to the planet, he ordered. Use the surface installations. They will not fire if it risks civilian casualties. He was wrong. Hyobin's voice came over the open channel. Rakesh, you executed 10 innocent people to make a point. You used civilians as shields. You chose this path. You cannot win, Rakesh replied. We still hold the hostages. Attack us and they die. No, Hyobin said simply. They won't. The first drop pods launched. They fell toward the planet like meteors. Inside each pod, Marines prepared for impact. They had rehearsed this hundreds of times. Drop, breach, secure, extract. Sergeant Sang-wook checked his weapon one last time. The pod shook as it entered the atmosphere. Around him, his team sat ready. 30 seconds, the computer announced. Remember, Sang-wook said, fast and precise. We do not take chances with civilian lives. Every shot counts. 10 seconds, the Marines braced. The pod hit the ground hard. The doors exploded outward. Sang-wook was moving before the smoke cleared. They had landed directly in front of the main hostage facility. Pirates scrambled to respond. They were too slow. Sang-wook's team moved like water, smooth, fast, practiced. They entered the building through 6 different points simultaneously. The pirates never had a chance to organize. In orbit, Admiral Taeho watched the surface operations begin. The space battle was essentially over. Now came the hard part, getting the civilians out alive. All ships maintain orbital cover. Shoot down any pirate vessel attempting to flee, and someone get me a status report from the ground teams. The hostage facility was a converted warehouse on the edge of Lysera Prime's capital. The pirates had chosen it for its strong walls and few entrances. They thought it was defensible. They were wrong. Sergeant Sang-wook moved through the corridors with his weapon raised. His helmet's display showed the building layout. Blue dots marked his Marines. Red dots marked detected pirates. Yellow dots marked civilians. There were a lot of yellow dots. Team 1, secure the east wing, he ordered. Team 2, west wing. Team 3, you are with me. We take the main holding area. The Marines moved without hesitation. Each had trained for thousands of hours. They knew their jobs. More importantly, they knew each other. They worked as one unit. Sang-wook reached a corner and paused. His helmet sensors detected movement ahead. 3 pirates. They were talking, not paying attention. Relaxed. They did not expect an attack this fast. He signaled to his team. 3 Marines. 3 targets. Simple math. They turned the corner together. 3 shots. 3 bodies falling. The whole thing took 2 seconds. The Marines kept moving. A door ahead opened. A pirate rushed out, weapon raised. He saw the Marines and started to shout. He never finished the sound. Marine Kowun shot him twice in the chest. The pirate dropped. Clear. Ko-Woon reported. They reached the main holding area. It was a large room that once stored cargo. Now it held over 2,000 civilians, men, women, children, different species, all terrified. 10 pirates guarded them with heavy weapons. Sang-Wook studied the situation through a crack in the door. The pirates were spread out. They had good sight lines. Taking them all down without risking civilians would be difficult, but not impossible. Team 3, I need precision shots. Mark your targets. We fire on my count. 5 Marines. 10 pirates. They would need to be very, very good. Thermal imaging shows civilians are mostly sitting. Pirates are standing. Clear height difference. Adjust aim accordingly. The Marines positioned themselves at different entry points. Each had a clear line of fire. Each knew exactly who to shoot. 3, 2, 1, execute. The door burst open. 10 shots fired in 1 second. 10 pirates fell. Not one bullet struck a civilian. The hostages screamed. They did not understand what was happening. One moment they were captives. The next their guards were dead. Sang-Wook lowered his weapon and removed his helmet. He wanted them to see his face, to understand he was there to help. We are human military, he said in the common galactic language. His voice was calm, gentle. You are safe now. We are here to rescue you. Please remain calm and follow our instructions. The civilians stared. They had never seen humans before. Earth had only joined the galactic community 5 years ago. These people had heard stories about Deathworlders, about how dangerous humans were. And now these dangerous humans were saving them. An elderly female from one of the peaceful species stood slowly. Her voice shook. You killed them so fast. We thought you would negotiate. No time for negotiation, Sang-Wook replied. Every second delays means more risk to you. Now please, we need to evacuate this building. More pirates may come. His team was already organizing the civilians. Marine Bora, the smallest member of the squad, had a particular talent. She was good with scared people. She moved among the hostages, speaking softly, helping them to their feet. It's okay. We have transport ships coming. You will be safe soon. Just stay together and follow us. Across the city, similar scenes played out. Marine teams hit every hostage location simultaneously. The pirates had no time to coordinate a response. They were scattered, confused, dying. Captain Hyobin monitored the operations from orbit. His tactical display showed each team's progress. Green indicators marked secured locations. The map was turning green rapidly. Captain, we have a problem, Lieutenant Yuna reported. The pirate flagship is moving. It is descending toward the capital. Hyobin studied the display. The flagship was a large vessel, heavily armed. If it reached the city, it could cause massive damage. Intercept course. Weapons hot. We cannot let that ship reach the surface. The Indomitable accelerated. The ship's engines pushed hard, fighting against the planet's gravity. Other human vessels moved to support. On the flagship, Rakesh was desperate. His fleet was destroyed. His ground forces were being eliminated. He had one option left, revenge. Load all weapons, he ordered. Target the capital city. If I cannot win, then everyone dies. His crew hesitated. That would kill thousands, maybe tens of thousands. Do it. Rakesh screamed, but they were too slow. The Indomitable appeared directly in front of them. At this range, shields did not matter. Armor did not matter. The human ship's railguns fired directly into the flagship's bridge. The result was instant and catastrophic. The entire front section of the pirate ship exploded. Debris scattered across the sky. Target destroyed, Yuna reported. Hyobin watched the wreckage fall. Small pieces burned up in the atmosphere. Larger chunks crashed into empty areas outside the city. No civilians were harmed. All ground teams, this is Indomitable. Enemy flagship is down. You are clear to proceed with evacuation. On the surface, Sang-Wook received the message. His team had moved the first group of civilians to a safe extraction point. Now they were going back for more. Team 1, report status, he called over the comm. East wing secured. 412 civilians extracted. No casualties. Team 2, West wing secured. 308 civilians extracted. 2 pirates surrendered. We have them in custody. Pirates who surrendered. That was interesting. Most had fought to the end. Sang-Wook would question these 2 later. His helmet display showed one more location. A small building on the northern edge. Intelligence said 50 civilians were held there. But the building had gone quiet. No communications. No movement detected. Team 3, we have one more location. Could be a trap. Be ready for anything. They approached carefully. The building looked abandoned. Too quiet. Sang-wook did not like it. Sensors detecting movement inside. Multiple heat signatures, they breached the door. Inside was darkness. Then lights flashed. Gunfire erupted. The pirates had been waiting. Marine Ko-woon went down. His armor stopped most of the bullets, but one caught him in the leg. He grunted and fell behind cover. Sang-wook returned fire. His weapon's muzzle flash lit up the room. He saw pirates hiding behind barricades, and behind them civilians huddled on the floor. This was the nightmare scenario. Enemies using innocents as shields, stun grenades, he ordered. Flash and move. The grenades flew. They detonated with blinding light and deafening sound. The pirates were disoriented. The Marines moved instantly. They did not charge blindly. They moved with precision. Each Marine knew exactly where to step, where to aim. The room was chaos, but they brought order. Sang-wook saw a pirate raising his weapon toward a civilian. He did not think. He reacted, one shot. The pirate fell. The civilian was safe. Marine Bora slid across the floor, firing as she moved. 2 pirates went down. She came up next to the hostages. Stay down! Cover your heads! The fight lasted 30 seconds. When it ended, all the pirates were dead. All the civilians were alive. Marine Ko-woon was injured but would recover. Medic, Sang-wook called. And someone get these people to the extraction point. Dr. Jia's team was already on the surface. They had set up field hospitals at multiple locations. The injured were brought to them, both human and alien. One civilian had been shot, a young male from a species that looked almost human except for green skin. He was bleeding badly. Get him on the table, Jia ordered. Her hands moved quickly, checking vitals, assessing damage. The bullet hit an artery. I need to clamp it now. Her team worked like a machine. Every person knew their role. They had practiced until their movements were automatic. The young alien's life hung by a thread. Jia's hands did not shake. She found the damaged artery and clamped it. Then she began repairs. The surgery took 40 minutes. When she finished, the alien was stable. He will live, she told his family. They had been waiting outside, crying. He will need more treatment, but he will recover. The mother grabbed Jia's hands. Thank you. Thank you. We thought we would all die. Jia smiled tiredly. That is why we are here. 4 hours after the first drop pod landed, the operation was complete. Every hostage location was secured. Every civilian was accounted for. Captain Hyobin stood on the bridge reading the final reports. 49,990 civilians rescued. 10 had died before the humans arrived. 6 Marines were injured. None killed, and every single pirate was dead or captured. The Krelith marauders no longer existed. Admiral Taeho's face appeared on the command screen. He looked satisfied. Well done, all ships. Begin recovery operations. Get our people back aboard and prepare for departure. Sir, Hyobin said, what about the prisoners? We have 2 pirates who surrendered. Taeho was quiet for a moment. Then he said, they will stand trial. Galactic law still applies even if the Council does nothing. We are not barbarians. On the surface, Sang-wook supervised the final evacuations. Civilians were being loaded onto transport ships. They would be taken to safe worlds, given medical care, helped to rebuild their lives. One young alien girl approached him. She was maybe 7 years old by human standards. She looked up at him with wide eyes. Thank you for saving us, she said softly. Are you really from a death world? Sang-wook knelt down to her level. The news spread across the galaxy in hours. The human fleet had rescued Lysara Prime. 50,000 civilians saved. 4 hours from arrival to completion. 0 hostage casualties during the rescue. The Galactic News Network showed footage of the operation. Human ships moving aggressively. Marines breaching buildings with perfect precision. Medical teams saving lives. It was impressive. It was terrifying. It was both. In the Galactic Council chamber, an emergency tribunal was convened. Ambassador Misun stood at the center. Around her, the 12 species of the Council sat in judgment. Council Speaker Vellon spoke first. His voice was formal, cold. Ambassador Misun of Earth. This tribunal has been called to address humanity's actions at Lysara Prime. You authorized military action without Council approval. Your fleet destroyed 43 vessels. Your forces killed nearly 1,000 individuals. This is unprecedented aggression. Misun listened calmly. She had expected this. The council valued their rules above all else. Even above results, the council will hear testimony, Velen continued. Then we will vote on appropriate sanctions against humanity. The first to speak was the representative from Quar. I acknowledge that the humans saved many lives. However, their methods were extremely violent. They did not attempt negotiation. They simply attacked. This sets a dangerous precedent. Another representative agreed. We have maintained peace for 3 centuries through dialogue and diplomacy. Military force should be the last option, not the first. How many would have died while you talked? Misun asked quietly. Velen looked at her sharply. You are not permitted to speak yet. Then when may I speak? After you have already decided humanity is guilty? The chamber fell silent. Several representatives looked uncomfortable. Very well, Velen said. Speak now. Defend your actions. Misun stepped forward. She looked at each representative in turn. 3 days, she said. The council debated for 3 days. In that time, 847 civilians died. We acted in 4 hours. All remaining hostages lived. That is the defense. You killed 1,000 pirates, the Quar representative said. That is 1,000 deaths on your hands. They were not innocents, Misun replied. They were murderers holding families hostage. They executed 10 people on live broadcast to threaten us. They chose violence. We answered. But you did not give them a chance to surrender, Velen argued. Admiral Tejo gave them 1 hour to release the hostages, Misun said. They executed 10 innocents in response. That was their answer. We gave ours. A representative from a small, peaceful species spoke up. Her voice was soft, sad. Ambassador, I understand your reasoning. But your methods, they frighten us. Humans are so violent, so quick to use force. We worry about what this means. Misun took a breath. This was the real issue. Not the rules. Not the protocol, fear. The other species feared humanity. Yes, she said simply. We are violent. Earth made us that way. Our world is harsh, dangerous. We evolved as predators. We know how to fight. We know how to kill. This is true. She looked around the chamber. But we also know why to fight. We fight to protect the innocent. We fight because someone must. You call us Deathworlders like it is an insult. But when death came to Lysera Prime, you needed Deathworlders to answer. Velen's expression was troubled. You speak of protection. But who protects the galaxy from you? What happens when humanity decides someone else is a threat? That is why we joined your council, Misun replied. We do not want to be alone. We want to be part of the galactic community. We follow your laws. We seek your guidance, but we will not stand by while innocents die and you debate. The tribunal continued for hours. Many representatives spoke against humanity's actions. Some spoke in support. The rescued civilians from Lysara Prime wanted to testify, but the council said their input was not relevant to the legal questions. Finally, the council voted. 11-1, they formally censured humanity for excessive use of force and unauthorized military action. Only the representative from a small, mining world voted against the censure. Humanity is hereby forbidden from taking independent military action without prior council approval, Velen announced. Future violations will result in suspension from the council. Misun accepted the judgment without emotion. She had expected nothing less. That evening, she returned to her quarters. Messages were waiting. 17 of them. All from worlds outside the Council's direct control. Smaller worlds, frontier colonies, places where pirates and raiders operated freely. The messages all said essentially the same thing. We watched what you did at Lysera Prime. We need that kind of help. Will you come if we call? Misun stared at the messages for a long time. The Council had censured humanity, but 17 worlds wanted human protection. The irony was not lost on her. She sent the messages to Fleet Command on Earth. They would need to decide how to respond. On Lysera Prime, the cleanup continued. Dr. Jia worked in a temporary hospital treating the last of the injured. Many would need ongoing care. Earth had offered to provide it free of charge. A patient called out to her. Doctor, may I speak with you? Jia approached the bed. It was the young male she had operated on during the rescue. He was recovering well. How are you feeling? She asked. Better, thanks to you. He paused, choosing his words carefully. I watched the news. The council censured your people, but You saved my life. You saved all of us. That should matter more than rules, Geo smiled sadly. Rules are important. Without them, we have chaos. But the Council's rules did nothing for us, the young male said. Your actions did. Does that not count? It counts to me, Geo replied. And to my people. That is enough. Captain Hiobin stood on the bridge of the Indomitable, watching Lysara Prime shrink in the viewscreen. The fleet was preparing to depart. Their mission was complete. Lieutenant Yuna approached him. Captain, message from Admiral Tejo. We are ordered to return to Earth space. Acknowledged. Hiobin looked at the planet one more time. Somewhere down there, 50,000 people were alive because his crew acted. The Council could say whatever they wanted. That truth remained, sir, Yuna said quietly. Do you think we did the right thing? Hiobin considered the question. We saved lives. We stopped murderers. We protected the innocent. Yes, Lieutenant, we did the right thing. Back on the Council station, Ambassador Misun prepared for an unexpected visitor. Governor Peleth of Lysara Prime had traveled to the station. He requested an urgent meeting with the full Council. When the Council convened, Peleth stood at the center. He was a tall being with 4 arms and deep purple skin. His species was known for their calm nature. But today he looked angry. Council Speaker Veln, Peleth said, I have just learned of your decision to censure humanity. I am here to tell you that decision is wrong. Veln shifted uncomfortably. Governor, this is a legal matter. Your opinion, while valued, is not my opinion, Peleth interrupted. Interrupting was extremely rude in council proceedings. He did not care. My planet was dying. My people were being murdered. You talked for 3 days. The humans acted in 4 hours. That is not opinion. That is fact. The manner of their action was extreme, Veln said. Extreme, Peleth repeated. He pulled out a data device. I have brought testimony from 7,000 civilians, people who were rescued. Would you like to hear what they say about the humans? He activated the device. Holographic figures appeared. One by one, survivors told their stories. A mother spoke of a human Marine who shielded her children with his own body during a firefight. An elderly male described how a human medic worked for 6 hours to save his son's life. A young female told of human soldiers who spoke gently to her, who gave her water, who promised she would be safe. The testimonies went on. 7,000 voices, 7,000 stories of humans risking themselves to save aliens they had never met. These are the beings you have censured, Peleth said. These are the people you call too violent. They saved my world. They saved my people, and you punish them for it. The council chamber was silent. I hereby announce that Lysara Prime is withdrawing from council oversight, Peleth continued. We will govern ourselves, and we will remember who helped us when we needed it most. He turned to Misun. Ambassador, on behalf of my people, thank you. If you ever need assistance, Lysara Prime will answer. He left the chamber. The council sat in stunned silence. A member world had just declared independence. That had not happened in over a century. Over the next week, 3 more worlds made similar announcements. They were tired of the council's slow responses. They wanted action. They wanted protection. Veln met privately with Misun. He looked tired. Old. You have broken the council, he said quietly. No, Misun replied. We showed the cracks that were already there. You maintained peace by being weak enough that no one feared you. But you were also too weak to protect anyone. And now? Now the galaxy has a choice, Misun said. Continue as before, hoping that no one tests you. Or adapt, become stronger. Learn that sometimes peace requires the willingness to fight. Veln sighed. You humans complicate everything. We do, Misun agreed. But we also get things done. She returned to her quarters to find more messages waiting. 26 worlds now, all asking for human help, all willing to pay for protection. Earth's government faced a decision. 6 months had passed since Lysara Prime. The galaxy had changed in ways no one expected. Admiral Tejo stood in the command center of the new Terran Defense Initiative headquarters. It was built on a neutral station, funded by the 17 worlds that first requested human protection. Now 43 worlds contributed to its operation. The TDI was not technically a military force. Earth's government called it a security consultation service. The Galactic Council called it a mercenary operation. The worlds it protected called it salvation. Admiral, incoming message from the council station, an officer reported. Tejo smiled slightly. The council called every week now. They wanted updates. They wanted assurances. Mostly they wanted to feel like they still had control. Put it through. Council Speaker Veln's image appeared. He looked even more tired than before. Admiral Tejo, I am calling to discuss recent incidents in the Outer Reach sectors. 3 pirate groups have been destroyed by your forces in the past month. Correct, Tejo replied. They attacked worlds under TDI protection. We responded as contracted. Your response was, as usual, extremely violent. It was effective, Tejo corrected. No civilian casualties. All hostiles eliminated. The sectors are now secure. Veln rubbed his temples. That is exactly the problem. You are too effective. Crime in those sectors has dropped to almost nothing. Pirates are fleeing to council-controlled space because they are afraid of you. Tejo raised an eyebrow. And this is bad because? Because it shows that your methods work better than ours, Veln said quietly. It undermines the council's authority. There was silence for a moment. Then Tejo said, Speaker Veln, with respect, maybe your authority needs to be undermined. The old ways were not protecting people. Perhaps, Veln admitted. But change is difficult. Many species fear what humanity represents. Then they should stop being afraid and start adapting, Tejo replied. The galaxy is not as peaceful as you pretended. We are just willing to face that truth. On one of the TDI training stations, Captain Hyobin walked through a simulation room. Inside, alien recruits practiced combat scenarios. The TDI had begun accepting volunteers from other species, teaching them, training them. It was controversial. Many said humans were spreading their violent culture, but the recruits kept coming. One young alien named Telesh was struggling with a close-quarters combat drill. He was from a peaceful species. They had not fought wars for 5 generations. His instincts were all wrong. Again, the training instructor said, faster this time. Telesh tried. He moved too slowly, hesitated too much. In a real fight, he would have died. Hyobin stepped into the simulation. Stop. Everyone take a break. He approached Telesh. The young alien looked discouraged. I am not good at this, Telesh said. My people are not fighters. No, Hyobin agreed. But you are here because you want to protect people. That is what matters. How can I protect anyone if I cannot fight? Hyobin considered the question. Fighting is not just about being aggressive. It is about being willing to act when action is needed. Your people hesitate because you value life. That is good. But sometimes, to protect one life, you must be willing to take another. That is the hard truth. Telesh looked at his hands. I do not know if I can do that. Then why are you here? Hyobin asked gently. Because I watched what happened on Lysara Prime, Telesh said. I saw your Marines save thousands of people. I saw your medics treat everyone, even pirates who were injured. I saw strength used for good. I want to be part of that. Hyobin nodded. Then let me teach you something. Being a soldier is not about enjoying violence. It is about being willing to do hard things so others do not have to. We train until our bodies react faster than our minds. Until the right action becomes automatic. You do not need to change who you are. You need to learn how to protect who you are. Over the next weeks, Hyobin personally trained Telesh. It was difficult. The young alien's physiology was different. His reflexes were slower, his strength was less, but he had determination. Use your advantages, Hyobin taught him. Your species has excellent hearing. Use it. You can hear enemies before seeing them. Your hands are more flexible. You can operate controls faster. Find what you are good at and build on that. Slowly, Telesh improved. He would never be as fast as a human, but he did not need to be. He needed to be good enough to make a difference. On Earth, in a small military cemetery, Sergeant Sang-wook stood before a memorial wall. It listed the names of every TDI member who had died in service. The list was still short, only 6 names. all from the Lysera Prime operation. A young Marine approached him. "Sergeant, the new recruits are asking about the memorial. They want to know about these people." Sang-wook looked at the names. He knew them all, had served with most of them. "Tell them these were people who understood that protecting others sometimes requires sacrifice," he said. "Tell them we remember not because they died, but because of why they died. They stood between innocence and harm. That is what we do." The young Marine nodded. "Sir, do you think we will need more names on this wall?" "Yes," Sang-wook replied honestly. "This work is dangerous, but it is necessary. And every person who joins TDI knows the risks. They come anyway." In the medical facility, Dr. Jia supervised a mixed staff. Human and alien medics worked together. They were learning from each other. Human trauma medicine, alien biochemistry. Combined knowledge saving more lives. A new patient arrived. A civilian from a freighter that had been attacked by raiders. The TDI ships had driven the raiders off, but not before the freighter took damage. "Punctured lung," Jia assessed quickly. "Get me a respirator, and someone find out what blood type this species has." An alien medic moved efficiently. She had trained with humans for 3 months, learned their methods. "Doctor, his physiology is compatible with standard treatment." They worked together. Human speed and precision. Alien knowledge of the patient's biology. The patient stabilized. Later, the alien medic said, "Dr. Jia, I must admit something. Before I came here, I was afraid of humans. I thought you were all violent warriors." Jia smiled. "And now? Now I know you are warriors who happen to be excellent healers too. You understand that strength is not just for fighting, it is also for protecting." Back on the council station, Ambassador Mi-sun prepared for another diplomatic session. But this one was different. The council had requested her input on security reforms. Veln opened the meeting. "Ambassador, the council has been discussing changes to our military protocols. We would like humanity's assistance in developing new guidelines." This was significant. The council asking humans for help. 6 months ago, they had censured humanity. Now they were asking for advice. "What kind of guidelines?" Mi-sun asked. "Faster response protocols," Veln said. "More aggressive intervention options. Training programs for peacekeeping forces. We want to maintain our values of peace, but we recognize we need to be more effective." "You want to learn how to fight without becoming warriors," Mi-sun said. "Yes. Is that possible?" Mi-sun thought carefully. "It is difficult, but possible. You need to understand that strength and peace are not opposites. Sometimes strength creates peace. Sometimes peace requires strength." Over the next months, human advisors worked with council military forces. They taught tactics, strategy, rapid response, but they also taught restraint, precision, the difference between necessary force and excessive force. It was slow. The council species struggled with human methods, but gradually they improved. A test came 4 months later. Pirates attacked a council-protected world. For the first time, council forces responded within 6 hours. They used human tactics. Fast deployment, precise strikes. The hostages were rescued. The pirates were captured. The operation took longer than humans would have needed, but it worked. The council had learned. Veln sent a personal message to Mi-sun. "We succeeded. It was not as clean as when your people do it, but we succeeded. Thank you." Mi-sun shared the message with Earth's leadership. It meant something. The galaxy was changing, adapting. Admiral Tae-ho reviewed reports in his office. The TDI now protected 62 worlds. Pirate activity in those sectors had dropped 90%. Other criminal organizations were retreating to the galactic edges, but new problems emerged. Some worlds wanted TDI protection but could not afford it. Some wanted to hire human forces for offensive operations, not just defense. Earth had to decide where to draw lines. "Sir," his assistant said, "there is someone here to see you, says it is urgent." "Send them in." A figure entered. It was the pirate commander Rakesh's second officer, one of the two who had surrendered during the Lysara Prime operation. He had been tried and sentenced to 10 years of community service rebuilding damaged worlds. "Admiral," the former pirate said, "I have information. A large criminal syndicate is planning attacks on human-protected worlds. They want to prove humans are not invincible." Tejo studied him. "Why are you telling me this?" "Because I have seen what you do," the former pirate replied. "You could have killed me. Instead, you gave me a chance. I work now on Lysara Prime, helping rebuild what we destroyed. I see the children I once threatened. They smile at me now. They do not fear me. Because you showed them that evil can be stopped." He looked at Tejo with something like respect.